Well, hello there. Thank you for joining us here on the ice, brought to you by our good friends at Dokes Brookfield's Case Financial Group, Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, and of course, Toby Hockey. Tonight's guest is the gentleman who's coaching the 2012s here in Manitoba, the Manitoba Junior Ice Program. Coach Frykas will join us tonight to discuss how he is getting the team ready and prepped for the Brick Invitational, which is happening June 29th to July 10th for both the 2011s and 2012s in West Edmonton Mall. ASTV will be there providing play-by-play and color commentary, as well as some interviews along the couple of the weeks happening in Edmonton. We look forward to seeing all of you as well. So we're going to talk to Brennan. We're going to talk to how he's put the team together and what he looks forward to most in Edmonton. And yes, we'll talk a little bit of hockey too while we can. So here we are on the ice. Please welcome Coach Frykas. Brennan, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're extremely busy getting ready for the tournament. Please give us a little introduction, who you are, how you got involved with the Junior Ice Program, and what you love so much about coaching.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, for me, I've been doing skill development for the last 5 or so years with excessive speed hockey. So we kind of focus strictly on skill development. So working on kids skating, stick handling, shooting, but also kind of diving towards how to play the game as well. So making sure that giving them some knowledge of where to be in certain situations, stuff like that. MGI approached me, I'd say a couple of weeks before tryouts started, just as coach, just to come on and coach their team. And happy to be involved with their organization and happy to be coaching the team.
Is it weird coaching in June?
You know what? It's kind of a little bit there, but you know what? With spring hockey, I think it's a good thing for kids there too. And especially a bunch of our boys on our roster, they love being on the ice as much as possible there. Of course, you want to make sure they have some time to do other extracurricular stuff like baseball, soccer, and stuff like that. But these boys like to work hard and improve their game and just continue to play the good old game of hockey.
It is the good old game for you and I. It's a new game for a lot of these young kids, haven't played maybe 3 or 4 years under their belt already. But you touched on it just real quickly. How important is it to make sure that there's a balance in these young kids' lives with not only other sports, but just extracurriculars so that they don't feel that burnout phase at such a young age?
Well, especially you said it, you want to make sure the kids are not burned out. You want to make sure that they're in the end of the day, they're kids. So you want to make sure that they're also playing other curricular sports like baseball, staying active, soccer. A lot of our guys on our team play like lacrosse and et cetera. So we want to make sure that they're on the ice, but not on too much. And like you said, sometimes you got to remind parents and some of the kids not to burn themselves out, especially the summer months. You want to be able to relax a little bit there too.
So growing up, Brennan, what sports did you play besides hockey?
It was mainly a lot of the hockey, but played a lot of, I dived into lacrosse, did soccer, baseball, roller hockey, any kind of sport you think of. I played it there too. So, but the main focus was on hockey a lot. But like I said, during the summer times in July and stuff like that, you want to be able to take the skates off, put the sandals on a little bit there too.
Well, I'm sure the sandals will be packed going to Edmonton, as well as the hockey gear and some uniform action as well, Brennan. But explain to me real quick how important the tournament like the Brick is and representing Manitoba amongst teams that are North America all over this year.
For sure. Well, it gives a lot of the guys, especially whether it's Manitoba, Alberta, BC, or even in the States, an opportunity to play against guys that they don't usually play against and some of the top talent around, right? So like you said, you're playing teams like Team Minnesota that are really good teams, and BC, Toronto, and etc. There's a bunch of different other top-notch players, and gives the kids a chance to look back when they're older there and take a look at the good old program and kind of see like, hey, I used to play with the guys like that, or hey, I saw this. I played with a kid from Minnesota or Chicago, or vice versa. So it's a memorable thing for the kids, and we always reassure, especially with our team, you're there, just enjoy the show, right? So.
Enjoy the show, enjoy the moment, enjoy the game that you love to play. Absolutely. A little bit different of a schedule, not from the Brick per se, but I mean, preparation wise, we'll get into later. is it different preparing for 5 or 6 games in a 7-day span as opposed to a weekend showcase setup?
For sure. Yeah, because it's a week span, and especially when you're playing top-notch talent, and you're going to have games when you go down there that's going to be 1-goal games or tight games, tied games, and you want to make sure it's going to be a long trek for the boys. But and especially when you're in the mall there too, it's a smaller ice surface there too, and all of a sudden the kids, you have the light shining in through the ceiling, glass ceiling, and then you have all the just pretty much the kids just taking it all in there too, right? So they're it's going to be tough, but I'm sure that all of the teams are going to have a fun time going there.
I think the Brick Invitational at West Edmonton Mall also provides the spotlight on young elite hockey across North America. Just like you have the amusement rides and the shops and the water slide, you're on display for 7 days at at the biggest mall still in Canada, which is kind of interesting and kind of a cool thing for these young kids.
Oh, absolutely. The opportunity to be in the West Edmonton Mall playing a good little game of hockey that we love. And then also being able to play against the best of the best. So you're playing pretty much all the top talent around North America there too. So it's kind of an honor to be able to play against all those top teams and top talent.
We've talked about top talent with a lot of the coaches. We talked about assembling the teams and making sure that there's a balance. I mean, we don't want, for Manitoba's perspective, we don't want 16, number 81s or number 55s on the ice. We need a little bit of balance. We need some work. We need some, some grinders in there. How was the team, Brandon, put together with you? And what type of a mindset did you have putting together this team so that you're ready to play next week?
Well, I'll just say all the guys that did try out for us had top-notch talent, and we don't want to take anything away from those guys there too. When we constructed the team, it was, look, it's not just taking the one-note players or not just taking the same style players, especially when you're completing a team. It's kind of like a puzzle. You're kind of adjusting it and placing it intact. So we have a bunch of guys we got fast guys. We got a little bit bigger guys with good shots, guys that have good hands, kind of a little bit of everything there too. So we want to when we were picking the team, we want to make sure that we're getting a fine balance of everything. And yeah, we're comfortable and happy with the team that we picked.
So give me a little idea of how the process went. You were hired a couple of weeks before the selection camps began. How many kids were showing up? How did you get it down to the final 16 or so that are going to be representing Manitoba at the Brick?
For sure. I think we had about 50 to 55 kids or even 60 kids coming out for tryouts. We kind of took a look at them through evaluation period there, and then they made we went on to the second cuts there. And then from there, we had a couple of times where we played just to see their talent and really getting to know the kids there as well, and kind of seeing what their mindsets are and how they kind of interact. And we try to make sure that the tryout period is not as stressful, especially kids get stressed. They're kids in the end of the day. So we want to make sure that it was a kind of a stress-free environment, as you can say, even though it was a tryout, but keep them calm and just let them showcase what they have.
So was it mainly skates amongst other players at the tryouts, or was there any type of scouting done throughout the course of a season so that they could see how these players are actually playing within their own team environment?
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of inter-squad games, in-game kind of skill development, stuff like that. So we were able to kind of identify and watch the kids, and we're happy with the team that we got.
How, as a skill development coach yourself, Brandon, looks and deciphers the different strategies and the different points of a game of a young player, how much do we take into account instinct and team play and making sure you're that team guy as well?
For sure. And it all depends on, honestly, the kid and taking a look at what their strengths are. So we have a lot of guys, but also making sure that having a lot of skill and a lot of speed and a lot of and a good shot in that, but also taking into account how to play the game as well, and making sure that making right decisions, especially when we do our practices there. Just a lot of game smarts, game situations, and especially in game situations, you're where to go without the puck as well. So it's not just taking the puck end to end, going around trying to score every time, but playing a team game and playing the smart way as well when you don't have the puck as well. So.
Do you like the way the game has changed, Brennan, over the last decade or so? I mean, we've gone through phases. We've gone through the rough and tumble 80s where you had a Dave Semenko on every team. And then you go into the 90s and you look at puck control and gathering the to the blue line and moving the play in like the Red Wings used to do. Now we're seeing in this Stanley Cup final, it's a myriad of several things where goaltending wins games and you have ebbs and flows to the nth degree, and injuries play a vital role in everything. Do you like the way the game has changed and how these young kids are able to really grasp the importance of what to do with and without the puck?
Absolutely. And I take, and just the accessibility of today's world there too. And like how much things are open. Like now you have McDavid's and you have McKinnon's there that, hey, they're a lot of the kids are getting into a lot of skill development camp. There's a lot of technologies involved now. Coaches are doing video analysis with the kids, kind of breaking down it. And I like how the skills played. It's a skills played game. And it's kind of a game for kind of a little bit of everybody, right? So you have the gritty guys in the corner. You have the guys that are going around setting up plays like the Ehlers. And then you have the guys that are putting the puck in the net like the Lineys, right? So I'm very confident. I like how the game's played right now. So it's really good.
Brendan, what kind of team are we looking to see at the Brick for your 2012s? Are we a fast team? Are we a team that likes to control? Are we looking to dump the puck into empty spaces? What kind of team are we bringing to the Brick?
Kind of overall, all of our players are good and all of our players are fast, and we play a really good team game. We work hard. I think through my coaching career, I think this is probably the hardest working team I think I've coached. So I think we'll do just fine. And the main key thing was adversity for the guys. So not getting down on yourself if things are going bumpy or if things are going good, but kind of keep pushing through.
Excellent, Brendan. We'll take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about getting to Edmonton and our preparations while we're there, plus some other concepts and discussions about the Brick Invitational and stuff. Stay with us here on the ice. Welcome back to On the Ice, talking with Brendan Frykas, the 2012 head coach of the Manitoba Junior Ice team? Is that what we're called?
Correct, yeah.
And now with the 2012 team, now also the 2011 team, which is head coached by JP Vigier, which was on another episode of On the Ice. Have you two kind of collaborated and discussed over the tryout process of, how this goes and how this works and, bumping ideas off one another?
Not too much. I respect JP and how his coaching style for the 11s there, and he does a great job with that team. But I think just with our coaching staff alone for our 2012s, we kind of focused on our own team and how things are going, how systems are going, and stuff like that, and how the kids come together there. So I think as much as JP is just doing a good job with the 2011s there, we kind of just focus strictly on our kind of age groups and kind of looking at our team. So.
How good is it to have the Brick finally back after missing it last year, but also including the 2011s and the 2012s together in a 2-week program in Edmonton?
Well, I'll say this. I think our teams are kind of rooting for each other, like the good old Manitoba collaboration a little bit there. So I know all the boys are pretty pumped for the 2011s this upcoming week there too, and they're cheering them on in that. And I think the same thing goes for the 2011s, for the 2012s as well. But even just talking with our guys, they're over the moon that they're going to be heading to Edmonton there and playing some good competition. And they're eager. They've been waiting for this for a while, for almost close to a year there. So they want to get back on the ice. And we got some things to work on at practices and just kind of keeping our momentum going. But yeah, no, the kids are pretty pumped and they're ecstatic. And they're always asking, when are we going to the Brick? When are we leaving to the Brick? They're ready to roll. So.
Excellent. That's fantastic. What type of tournaments or showcases were done prior to, Brendan, to kind of see the gameplay and see how this team is kind of gelling?
We did a lot of the North American Hockey Classics there. So we played in the shootout. We won. We played in the 2011 age group there, and we won the championship for that one. And then I think a week and a half ago, we played in the Super Elite. So we played a lot of the Brick teams there, and we ended up winning it for the 2012 division there as well. So. But like I say to the guys every single time there too, after each tournament, I always say, put the tournament in the rearview mirror, and then you smash that rearview mirror. Like, you don't look at back what's happening in the past. You go on to the next step, and the next step is the brick tournament. So we're going to work super hard and see what happens. But the main thing is for the kids to have a good experience out there. And at the end of the day, like I said, they're just kids there too. And you want to make sure that they're relaxed, they're enjoying the moment. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity for the guys. So
how are you going to expect these young kids to keep everything in check with everything that's going on? I mean, it's a pretty wild week from what I've heard from the coaches and the program and directors and whatnot. But at the end of the day, they are kids. It is a game. They're going to be distracted. Let's be real. How do you maintain the importance and the game as the focal point for the week for these young kids?
Just making sure that they're not stressed, and that's the big thing. Especially there's probably a lot of pressures on these guys to go out there and on them, whether it's from outside sources or whether it's from expectations from other teams or whatever. But the main thing is to make sure that those guys are nice and relaxed, keep them calm. And our coaching staff has done a really good job of doing that and ensuring that, and just kind of reminding those guys that, hey, just play Toba hockey. You'll be fine. Just kind of go from there.
Absolutely. So when are we leaving, and what are our plans when we get to Edmonton?
We're going to be going there, I think, in a week and a half there. On the Sunday, we'll go there, get some ice time to kind of loosen up the legs a little bit, especially with the jet lag and that. And then we'll be set and ready to roll. So
everyone's flying. No one's driving.
There's probably a couple of guys that are probably driving, which is there's a kind of a mix between the two. But no, and then I think a couple of the guys are going probably a little bit earlier there too. Just they're eager. They're ready to go out there and kind of work hard.
That first game, that jet lag, I never really thought about that, but these young kids still get it too. I mean, you get on bus trips and whatnot. It's the first period could be a little sluggish for everybody.
Oh, for sure. Especially you look at even pro guys right now. Like a lot of those guys and junior guys there, after a long trip there, they want to stretch out the legs and they want to be tuned and ready to roll. And same thing what's happening probably in the Stanley Cup Finals right now with Colorado and in Tampa there. So
no doubt. We talked a little about the accessibility for these players to hone their game and make it that much stronger, refining those tools. Give me an idea of how much your technology, how much will be done to change between game to game while you're in Edmonton.
Yeah, no, just accessibility. Like we'll meet. We usually have team meetings, kind of go over some things with them there too, and kind of go over how things are run. Like especially what we work on in practices and stuff like that. Just kind of reminding the kids and just reaffirming. Like there's a lot of this today, these days, there's a lot of technology out there and stuff like that with film and analyzing and stuff like that. But in the end of the day, we want to make sure, like I said, we're all prepared and ready to roll, and that all the kids, once again, we want to keep a stress-free environment for them, even though it's going to be pretty, the kids are going to get pretty pumped about it. So we want to make sure keep the stress at a nice minimum there too. And just play your game, just do your thing, right?
Play your game, do your thing. Brendan, are we going to see you on your knees when you bring out the mini sticks? Are we going to see the mini stick action in the hotel, or are we kind of keeping that one away?
Even though back in the day I used to be a good old mini stick player there with the kids there too, we want to. I'll leave that to the kids, especially the knees are getting a little hindry at the old age there too. So we want to make sure. You never know though.
So we got a little bit of downtime planned for the kids, a little nutrition planned for the kids as well. Curfews, I'm assuming, will be in place.
Yeah.
It's ready to rock and roll time when you head to Edmonton, and it should be a good tournament at the Brick.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, we'll have some team meetings there. We're gonna have once again we kind of do dynamic warm-ups in there, just get the boys ready. Of course, hockey comes first, but we want to make sure at the end of the day they're still kids, and we want to make sure that they have a good time as well.
What do the uniforms on the ice look like, and what will the boys be wearing approaching the rink?
Well, all of them are going to have their 204 golf shirts approaching the rink there. And we try to make sure our boys are nice and classy and nice, respectful, especially with the tournament officials, whether it's with the refs, whether it's with the other teams as well. So we want to make sure that the boys are acting as classy as possible. And then we're going to be coming in and just get the good old shorts on for the dynamic warm-up. And then the uniforms on the ice, you'll have to see once we get there.
Unveiling will occur July 4th for the 2012s, and Brendan Frykas is not going to let us know, which is totally fine. I'm cool with that. Any expectations, Brandon, for yourself? I mean, have you ever coached the brick tournament? I mean, you've done a couple of showcase tournaments, of course, leading up to it, but are there any expectations you have from a coaching perspective, from how you want to see your team perform, from the parents as well, and anyone you'd like to thank before we say goodbye?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, for us, never done the brick tournament before. So this is a whole new experience for us there too, and our coaching staff as well. But yeah, no, our expectation is we're going out for, when we go to Edmonton, we're going out for hockey first. We're going to work extremely hard at whatever game we have, and we're going to see what the outcome is. And we'll kind of leave it at that. Just as long as the kids are working hard, and that's all I care about there. And then they're putting pressure on the enemy there. So that'll be good.
Pressure on the enemy, the opposition, we'll call it. Brendan Frykas, good luck to you and your team and your coaching staff as well. And we look forward to seeing you in Edmonton, and safe travels to the tournament.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Brendan Frykas here, the head coach of the 2012s, joining me today on the ice. I'd like to thank our sponsors once again, Dokes Brookfield's Case Financial Group, Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, and of course, Toby Hockey. We'll see you there starting June 29th with the 2011s starting skating on the Brick Invitational Week 1 and the 2012s following. Thanks so much for joining us here on ASTV, bringing more goodness to the greatness. As always, have a great rest of the week. Take care of yourselves and enjoy Canada Day, July 1st. Have a great evening. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome to Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mountain Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.